little bit closer to him. There we go.
What's up, everybody? This is Brandon with Shaman Sundays coming live from Sky Door Network here in beautiful, snowy. I'm freezing. I'm cold. Deadwood, South Dakota. We are here for the 5th annual Sacred Mountain Retreat Gala. We have some great guests coming up, some Medal of Honor winners, some, each and every one of these people that Jared will be interviewing here shortly are heroes. And, if you haven't thanked a veteran for their service, one of the best ways to do it is to donate to Sacred Mountain Retreat. And here shortly, we will put up the links for you to donate. But right now, I'm going to pull up the president and CEO of Sacred Mountain Retreat, Jared, and he's going to introduce the guests and a little bit about what's going on. So I will pull up his video.
Hey, Brandon, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, it's going to be a great day. We are coming to you live, like you said, from Deadwood, South Dakota. We're here at the lodge where we're going to be holding our 5th annual Winter Gala. And let me tell you, folks, this one is probably going to be and it's all to the heroes that are coming to either share their stories, just be a part of this evening. So I'm gonna bring on our guests, I guess, and then once we visit a little bit more, I'll share what Sacred Mountain really does. But I think I'll start on my far left. We have Kevin Lombardo. Kevin, how are you?
Doing great, Jared. How are you?
Good, thanks for being here.
Absolutely, love coming here.
Yeah, it's been an honor. We were talking last night. I think, what have you missed? One gala in 5 years?
Yeah, because I was stationed overseas at that time, so 4 out of 5. And I'm glad the weather is a little bit better because the last couple have been colder and you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you. So
Right.
Beautiful weather today.
I think we should actually we get to give Jessica the credit for that.
Yeah.
Every year it's been below zero by a lot. Mr. Jenkins can even testify to that.
Yeah, it's been cold. So we got to put that on Jessica here.
Well, Jessica, why don't we introduce you next? Jessica Lynch, thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You got in last night.
I did. Yeah, a couple delays with getting here, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
You know, everybody says that South Dakota is the worst state to fly into. Rapid City, because there's always they can't blame it on the weather because it was beautiful here yesterday.
Well, apparently bathroom filling, and the plane falling people. So mechanical issues.
Oh, crazy. And we got a legend, Mr. Don Jenkins.
How's everybody?
Doing good.
Glad to have you, Don.
Look good you're here.
When's the last time you did a podcast, Don?
It's been probably about a year.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you're here in South Dakota with us again. Well, let's just kind of dive in. I guess for those of the new people that are checking in and watching this, I'm going to just share a little story. Sacred Mountain was founded in 2018, and what our goal and mission is to save lives, save marriages, and save careers. And we've done that. There's been 185 men and women that have came to the program. We're going to interview some of them also today. But I don't think that the country and society really understands the crucial part you guys all go through when you come home. The suicide rate. The 22 a day. We all know that those numbers are exponentially higher. But Equine therapy is the root of our program. We do a lot with
We do
horses.
blacksmithing, we have
We do
leather work,
blacksmithing,
we have
leather work.
massage
We have
therapist that comes and
massage
works
therapist that comes
on everyone.
and works
We
on
do
everyone.
yoga therapy.
We do
But
yoga
The
therapy.
best part
But
about the
the
program.
best part about the
And
program
I'm gonna go into it
is-
a lot deeper.
and I'm gonna go into it a lot deeper probably with the next
It's the
group.
peer-to-peer support.
It's the peer-to-peer support.
You know, we
they
don't
have.
have doctors.
You know, we don't
or
have
clinicians
doctors
that
or clinicians that set on our,
that are paid or
that are
anything like
paid
that.
or anything like
It's
that.
just other
It's just other like-minded veterans
that get to help
that get to
share
help
their
share
story.
their story. So,
Kevin, why don't
Kevin, why don't you
kind of kick us
kinda
off
kick
and
us
tell
off
us
tell us
some of your
backstory
backstory
and
your career.
Sure. Air Force, Air Force, started off enlisted, got my commission through, ROTC at Texas State University. So had some background, 6 years in, I was an NCO. Wanted to continue. I had three older brothers who were all enlisted, two in the Air Force, one in the Navy. My dad was Navy. So, you know, it was in my blood, I guess I should say. Was stationed up in North Dakota, you know, a little bit north of here, a little bit colder climate. Was up there for a couple of years, and then I loved it up there. Went to my next assignment, and then I started deploying. I did 4 straight deployments to Iraq. One of them was in Baghdad. Another one was in Camp Buka, which was the largest detainee facility in the world. We went from 12,000 to 22,000 detainees in the time I was there. Got to see things, got to do things, doing convoys back and forth throughout the area there to transport detainees back and forth. Went back again, next time to Kaba Hatter, which is in Nasiriyah. Spent some time there. That's where a lot of things in my life changed forever. Lots of saw a lot of things that, you know, people just shouldn't see. And you know, I had a squadron of 75 Army, Navy, Marines, MPs, security forces, Masters of Arms, and we would support the local ODA teams that would go out and take care of missions. We were there with them, and you know, seeing my guys come back, and seeing my gals come back, you know, and going out and doing the things that we did. You know, coming back to the States, coming back, it's just hard. And I see, you know, people in this room, you know, they know what I'm talking about, but a lot of people just don't know. Don's story is different. Jessica's story is different, but we also have that common thread that sometimes it's only us that we can talk to.
Right.
And Sacred Mountain, me coming up here the first time 5 years ago, just being able to talk to somebody that you don't even know, and then next thing you know, you're just your phone numbers, and you get a text message from them to ask how you're doing. Out of the blue is amazing. And the retreat center out there, you know, Sacred Mountain is just amazing. I love coming out there. I love sitting by the fireplace. I love all the things that about it, but it's also the after, don't say the after party, it's the after gatherings where things get deep. And again, when you're talking with fellow veterans, you get it. And that's where I like to talk to other people outside of the military community. Come support things like this. Support Sacred Mountain because they want to know how can I give back? How can I give back to what they're doing? Just like yourself, Jared. You're not military, but you're doing something. And your family said, "I want to do something," and this is how you give back. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate that.
On that, you know, I there's a lot of people that say the same thing. They're like, you're not military. What's your driving force? Just what you said. Just being able to give back. It's just a little bit. You know, I think when we first started, obviously I set a lot of goals, sometimes way higher than I should. But I said, you know, if before I die, if we can get that number, again, everybody was talking about 22, but if we can get that 22 number cut by half, wouldn't that be amazing? And I know, like you were just saying, I mean, there's a lot of heroes in this room that we're going to be interviewing today, and
there's a handful of them that have came through the program that talk about what their suicide attempts were leading up to them coming through the program. And I think, 90% of them are in a better place just because they've got some new tools for their tool belt.
Absolutely.
But no, I know, we were talking last night about the I don't want to call it a situation, but with Joel, that was one of probably the biggest and worst things that you had to endure. I just don't think that 90%, and we're going to get into a little bit of Jessica's story. I don't want to get too much because I don't want to get spoiled for tonight. But I just don't think that the common person understands what you guys have gone through, what you've seen, what you've had to deal with. And that's, again, doing the gala and these podcasts and getting more people aware of what this country stands for and the people who have defended it.
And one thing, Jared, I want to put out there is, I know Jessica was 19. Don, how old were you when?
19.
19. Yeah, I was a little bit older, but when those things hit you at such a young age, in your 30s, 19 years old for Jessica and Don, it's just, we have a whole lifetime to live with those memories.
That's
And
right.
a lot of times, I have people that I talk to who block them out, who don't want to talk about it, and those individuals are the ones that I see their entire lives silent because they don't want to talk about it. They want to block it out. Once I started talking, once I started going to either a mental health specialist or once I started talking to other veterans, people like-minded. Me being in the Air Force at that time, there wasn't too many of my peers as officers that I could go and talk to. And that was tough for me.
Right.
It was absolutely tough. Sure, I could go talk to one of my NCOs who was there, but he also had his little peer group. For me, it was a little bit difficult. Now I have an outstanding peer group of my friends who have grown up through the military, and it's been amazing to talk about stories that they didn't want to talk about.
Well, and what you just said, no disrespect to Dawn and Jessica for their age, but let's face it, 19 years old, looking back on it, we're not even mature. We're still in that growing stage where we're influenceable. We see shit that is like shit that we shouldn't see. So it's going to impact us so much different than if we're 30 or 10 years old, 30 or 40 years old. It's just reality. It's just reality.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to Jessica. Let's move on to Jessica. So glad to have you. So
Yeah,
glad to have you.
it was crazy, but I joined the military army when September 19th, so
September 19th,
right after
9/11 had occurred,
I
and
had
I had never even thought
like that wasn't
joining,
my
that wasn't my career path that I would have chosen.
But yeah,
Recruiter
kind of stepped into my brother,
stepped into my brother and my life.
both of us
Both
became
of us
the
became
first
the
brother-sister
first
duo
brother-sister
in
duo in
West
West
Virginia
Virginia,
signed
signed
up
up
on
on
the
the
same
same
day
day
as
as
that
that
recruiting
recruiting
station.
station.
Pretty
So
special for
pretty
us.
special for us.
Yes, we both
Yes,
kind of
we
went
both
in
kind of
and,
went in and
again,
I deployed
March of
February of
2003.
2003.
And
By
March
3rd, my unit was captured
or
and
ambushed.
and I was captured in Nasiriyah. So
Yeah, it was a great time. And again, I don't want to give away too much, but
Yeah.
I spent 9 days in captivity where
they
they
had
had
snapped my arm, broke my back, removed my femur bone, broke my tibia, and my right foot. So I was unable to basically move. I was, paralyzed at that moment of just kind of there. And I wasn't fed. I wasn't given any kind of pain medication. It was just kind of laying there with praying, and somebody was going to come in and get me.
That is absolutely. I mean, it's again, people don't even understand. I mean, this room has got a bunch of people in it, and a lot of them are very deep in the military. Who can even fathom what you went through? And I mean, I know your story, obviously, because I've studied and this man over here was a highly recommended supporter of you. And when Don says Jessica would be great, and so then I started doing my, but I still couldn't wrap my mind around what had happened to you and the pain and misery and everything. And that's why unbelievable. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy for me. But I think the worst part was being alone, because, well, there was six other six of us. One passed away before she was rescued, but so there was six of us in total that was captured. But I was taken alone separately. And I think that was probably one of the worst parts for me, was laying there alone and not kind of having that support from anybody else to be like, you know what, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it through this. We're going to get it, But yeah, so it was just kind of laying there and praying and hoping.
I'm sure you've been asked this, but at what point did you regret going?
None. And I still have no regrets about it. Like, if I could, I would
That's
do it
not a
again.
hero. I don't know what it is.
I don't think anybody does it.
Yeah.
Anybody does it.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope things would turn out differently if I did it again. But I mean, I don't have any regrets about joining. I mean, it is what it is. And I've tried to make the most of the situation and just rely on people like Don that I've met for years and have that support system. That's kind of what helps me. I know, like, we were talking about the 22 a day. Yeah, I think we've all been there with those thoughts and, don't want to be here anymore because of the pain that you live with or the memories of the trauma. But it's finding that support system. And, yeah, I think that's what makes it great, is having.
Can you share a little bit with the audience? What have you done to help with some of your demons and some of the mental health that you struggled with? I mean, obviously you had to have a hellish amount of pain, but obviously there's other pain too that people don't see.
Oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, I mean, other than like the physical pain, because I still have that. I mean, that's something I'm gonna have to live with the rest of my life. Of, walking and just kind of learning to adapt with it. And even though it's been 20 years, you still are adapting every day because you get older, your mobility changes, you're learning different parts. Like, oh, that doesn't work the same way it did 20 years ago. So yeah, I mean, but a lot of mine is probably mental, where I just some days you just don't want to get out of bed and don't think you can do it. But I haven't really done too much, to be honest. But I have great friends. Like, that's my thing.
Well, you're a school teacher.
Yeah, I got my elementary education degree.
So I suppose that's kind of cool, getting to work with kids.
Yeah. That doesn't change you. Like, kids will put you in a reality check quick. But yeah, I just have great family friends, supporters that I can rely on. Help me get through it.
Good. Well, again, we're so glad you're here, and we can't wait to hear the rest of your story tonight.
Yes.
Now, one thing Jessica and I talked to, we're going to stay away from North Korea.
Yes.
We're definitely staying away from North Korea.
That's probably good. Mr. Jenkins,
Yeah.
you that song when we were having breakfast this morning. I remember, I knew that there was a song that reminded me of you, Coal Miner's Daughter.
Well, I've got two music videos out now.
Two?
Yeah. Let's talk about Heroes.
Yeah.
Ryan Reaver and Blackbird Anthem by MOH.
Yeah.
They just come out.
Yeah. Both songs are great.
Yeah, both are great.
Well, let's talk about your story. You don't have to give all the secrets away, but you were in the coal mining business.
I was working in the coal mines, making a big $1.25 an hour, third shift. And I went by the house, and mother said, "You've got some mail here." And I went in and looked and opened it up. And on a piece of paper said, "Your friends and neighbors have selected you." I said, "I don't have no damn friends and neighbors." And it says, "You're drafted." And I turned October, I was in Vietnam. And I was one of them that just didn't want to do what I'm told, you know.
No.
Yeah. So I had it kind of rough for I made it rough for myself, I guess. But anyway, come January 5th, I wanted something to drink. I drank a little bit then. I still don't drink much, but a little bit. I wanted some brown wine. That's kind of like moonshine here. So we had some Vietnamese girls hang out over on the road. And so I could went over there and learn enough that I could get what I wanted, you know. And so I sent them to give me some brown wine. And they come back. They said, well, they ain't coming back. That's them bitches come back. That's somebody just put your hand grenade down and I'll shoot them. They go, you gonna shoot them? I said, yeah, you're gonna offer my money. So, like I say, I didn't put one for the deal. But anyway, they finally come back and they pissed across the town. And I had the BT unit. That's what the peanut butter crackers came in. Can in my pocket. So I poured me in some. That was great. Next thing you know, I'm passed out. The biggest, worst guy around always wants it after medic. He's giving me mouth to mouth. I become very combative. And they tied me down. One tied over me. They took me in. And they said, well, that's been raised to C4. Says, you're not going to make it the morning. I think, boy, I really don't want to die like this. But anyway, I'm laying there, tied down. Of course, you know, you've got to go to the bathroom and all that, you know. We ain't letting you up. And so the next morning, the black guy was doctor. He come in, he says, if you want to try to kill us all, we'll I'll turn you loose and we'll take a shower. I'll give you some clothes. I said, oh, okay. I said, I hope I didn't try to do that. He said, let me take me all day to tell you what you've done last night. So anyway, he let me take a shower and come back out. We're talking. And here comes this colonel through the door. And I'm thinking, what does he want? What's he doing here? And he says, next, is he ready to go? Yeah, get on my chopper. I said, I'll just get straight back. And then the colonel, he said, do you not know what I just said? Get you on the chopper, you know. Few narratives I'll leave out of there. But anyway, I get on the chopper. He just flies back. He tell me what he's going to do with the first one thing another. And I said, well, I can take all the shit that I've got and 10 cents back for the cost. I get back home. I said, it don't mean nothing to me. And I said, this doesn't mean nothing. I have to go back to work for my body. Anyway, we land. He said, tells the captain, he says, give him ours for 15. Bust him and take his. I was making $80 a month, 4 $20 bills. And if you didn't salute that second lieutenant just right, you had to go back through the line and come back. Anyway, he said, settle up. You're going out. And I said, no, I'm gonna help the captain out today. What do you mean you're gonna help the captain out? I said, he's going on sick call, but this is gonna be a big mission. How you know? I said, he knows what's going on. He done got the report. I said, he's going on sick call. I'm gonna go help him. No, you're going out. So we went out and landed the choppers. And most time we had a hot LC come in, but this time they just let it slam, flew off. And I hollered to the lieutenant down there in charge. I said, LT, we better slow down and look around a little bit. Things ain't right. You just pissed off. I said, yeah, I'm pissed off. And I said, I'm sick, but I said, I'm almost die today sick. And we had a new first sergeant out there. He was out there to get his CIB and his Purple Heart. By that time, I looked at the lieutenant. He had them black laces on. They exploded. And that's when all hell broke loose. And so that's the way I ended up with the metal bomb.
Quite the story.
Get busted one day. DLT the driver.
Was the whiskey or the moonshine, was it worth it?
I thought it was when I first got it, but was no more rice wine for me.
You're down there in Kentucky, so you can get that moonshine pretty easy, can't you?
Used to. It's getting hard to get now. But yeah, it's that rice wine. Place that C4. And I said, y'all want some of this? No, you don't look too good. I said, no, I don't feel too good.
Well, again, it's an honor to have you here. This is your third time here too, right?
This is the third or fourth time.
Third or fourth time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say though, things in the military have not changed because of the dudes that were the ones that are like, ooh, I want to get some action today. You did not want them on your patrols. You did not want that because probably go back to Revolutionary War. You just didn't want those guys or gals on your patrol. Did not.
Well, awesome. I think it's time for a commercial break, and I thank you guys, and we'll be coming back to you real soon.
You're muted, brother.
If you want to just say something, Jessica.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
I'm gonna go with, I guess, what do you got next? Or what do you got stop next? Tony, do you wanna go, and then I can have Craig, so I don't have both you guys.
The locals' choice for lodging, dining, and gaming is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, located in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. The Lodge at Deadwood offers first-class accommodations where you can relax and rejuvenate in luxurious guest rooms and spa quality.
So, everybody, we're taking a little intermission. We'll pop some music up, and we will be swapping over with some more amazing guests while I work on that commercial. But remember, we are coming to you live from the Lodge at Deadwood. This is an awesome place, guys, and I'm going to try to get some still pictures from where we're at. We got some beautiful snow, so if you guys could just stay with us. Don, do you want to do an intermission, or do you just want to come back and use the second studio?
We can just do an intermission, that's fine, and then I'll just change the other studio over for when you go live for Shaman Sundays tomorrow.
Okay, sorry about that. Hey, thanks, guys. Stay with us, please. Thank you.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
The locals' choice for lodging, dining, and gaming is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, located in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. The Lodge at Deadwood offers first-class accommodations where you can relax and rejuvenate in luxurious guest rooms and spa-quality suites. We feature free internet, the area's largest indoor water playland, a gift shop, and a 24-hour fitness center. Whatever you're craving, our 2 award-winning restaurants are sure to satisfy your appetite. The Deadwood Grill features chef-inspired cuisine and a large wine selection in a casual fine dining setting. Or choose the lively atmosphere of Ogie's Sports Bar. With televisions on every wall, it's a great place to meet your friends and watch your favorite games. Feel the excitement and explore our spacious casino, where you will find a large selection of the newest and most popular slots, a large table games area, and the Bet Lodge Sportsbook. It's all under one roof at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sacred Mountain Retreat podcast special live for the 5th annual gala. You know, we just had an interview with 3 heroes, and there's more to come. I can't tell you how much Sacred Mountain Retreat means to me and other veterans and first responders. Some of you may know I graduated from the program, and I completely love it. So there's nothing better, or not a better program to give to. And again, Don, if you could find the donation link and put that up for me, please. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to go back live. We're going to pull Jared back up, the president and founder of Sacred Mountain. He's going to introduce the next set of amazing heroes, and we're just going to keep going, guys. So please stay with us.
Thanks, Brandon. Welcome back from beautiful Deadwood, South Dakota, here at the Lodge. And like Brandon said, I'm surrounded by heroes. Starting off from the far left, Lance Patno.
Hey, Jared.
Spearfish, South Dakota. Next to me, Sonia Orr, Rapid City, South Dakota. And on my far right, Mr. Gary Wetzel from Wisconsin. I don't remember.
South Milwaukee.
South Milwaukee. Well, like he said, this is just, being able to do this is awesome because we're able to hear stories of heroes and what they've gone through, what they have found with their mental health, physical health. Jessica said places like this, there needs to be more of them. But Lance, let's kick it over to you. And you came to the program in 2022. Yep. And Army, Purple Heart, police officer.
Yeah.
Let's just dive in wherever you want.
Well, I initially signed up when I was 17. It was a national first. I met a lot of good people, but it's definitely still a lost person. I'm trying to get through my show, trying to find who I was. So I joined active duty. Next thing I know, they promised me a really cool place, Germany. I was like, yo, I'm going. Let's go to Germany. And Germany, and there's a bunch of us running around, and it's our unit, second SCR strike unit. They're like, hey, guess what? We're going to get 2 weeks. So we're going to do some combo libraries. And we're like, okay, cool. I just came from that. Went to Iraq in 07. It was cool. I was at Camp Striker, and then I was, my brother, he was in the Army as well, he's still in, and he was at Camp Tajma, so we were actually both deployed at the same time, overseas. We never got to meet up, it was very difficult, just because of OPSEC, and you can't really send that over the line, you know, we didn't have like the sat phones and stuff. But yeah, I went through Iraq, you know, it was a grueling time, but a lot of missions, mission in, day out. Got back, you know, went back to Germany. Re-enlisted. They're like, hey, where do you want to go next? Gave me Hawaii. I was like, okay, I'll go to Hawaii. Picked Hawaii. Next thing you know, I'm there for a bit, and we get our next deployment orders. I was with 227 Infantry, the 25th ID, and we're in Afghanistan. And we had like a really badass colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Wilson. And they were trying to put us in certain spots in Afghanistan, but he was like, no, our unit's going to the most hardcore. So we were at Kundar province, up and down. I was by Bali Alai, Bostic, Pearl King. And, that it was pretty interesting. I was part of like the forward crew that went first. And, we get there, you exchange and stuff. And, we got out of a Chinook in the middle of the night. It was like 4 hours later. It's like rockets were coming in. It was just such a different setting compared to Iraq and Afghanistan for me. There's people that have different stories from Iraq and Afghanistan. But mine was a full 180. Our morning routine was usually rockets coming in to wake us up for the day. It was, 4:30 was coming. Then I was part of a small group. We did force protection at different areas. There's about 17 of us that would just go around and do force protection. And that was when June 29, 2011, when I was hit. And it was pretty interesting day. My buddy John Urban and I, we were hanging out in our tower, Tower 4, BB4. And that day was pretty surreal. I remember everything. First rocket hit out about 100 meters from us. And you're just kind of sitting there surreal, trying to look for the puff in the distance. And it's like, just like the Black Hills, man. So like whenever I'm driving on the Black Hills, I'm like, oh cool, hey guys, I know places like this. So, and then my buddy Ashton and Stalwart, they were down by the Feedley Point, and I yelled over at him. I was like, hey man, we're taking rounds today. You guys might not want to be doing that. And like, it was like a pretty surreal moment, because like 5 minutes later, a rocket literally hit right beside them, and all you see these two dudes like a movie, right? They're just running out, and you're like, oh, geez. You're looking over the mountains. And when that happened, when they got hit, they made it out. But Urban and I saw where it was coming from, so we started popping rounds. Some stuff happened that day. Some people dropped, and then like about 2:30 p.m. I remember it's like, hey, I called over the radio. I was like, hey, are we gonna replace today? Because there's half an hour past our shift, and they were like, no, man, we're taking to the cheap. You two are on your own out there. And we're like, what? So I remember I grabbed my camera and we took a picture together, like John and I. We were like, goofy. I don't know what we were talking about, but just goofy. Took that picture, and like just like a few minutes later, all you hear is like a thump in the distance. And you're like, okay, well something's coming. And all of a sudden, it was like dead silent. So I was like, son of a bitch. And then next thing you know, I just snapped. And I woke up, cloud of smoke, and all I could hear is like the radio going off saying, "Oh, BP4 is down. They're dead. They're dead." And I'm like looking for the radio, patting myself down. John was on the ground. I was like, "Oh gosh, what are you talking about? We're gone. We're gone." And the next thing you know, I just yelled on to like medic, "We're good." This staff sergeant Fuentes, he was like godsend, just showing up and already got us out of there. But yeah, it was a pretty surreal experience. So yeah, after that,
Lance, before you go, what was the scariest moment in that work? Like, again, like I said when we kind of kicked this off, I just don't think that 90% of civilians and Americans that either don't have a service tie or don't have a family member or have never, they don't understand. So what was it like? I mean, fear of, had to be crazy.
Waking up and being just in that cloud of smoke, looking over at John. John was pretty out of it. That was a pretty scary moment. But I think like the craziest moment from that time was like when I got out of the tower and like they put me in the back of this like Haji Jeep, whatever, you know, it was like a Ranger, Ford Ranger in the middle of nowhere. And I sat back there and I'm looking up where we got shot at from. I think that was like the moment I felt so exposed that I actually just ran to the med station. And my combat medic was like chasing along with me. He's like come running with me, trying to like check me over, but I just sprinted and then I actually like ran right past wherever I was stalwart and I'll get hit. And I was like, oh no. Because like you sat there and you realize like how that happened. And you're just like staring up at it. I think that was like a scary moment because like I felt too exposed. Right. So yeah, I would say that. I would see my buddy down like that. As far as that goes.
Because I mean, if you think about it, just like you said, we've all, at least everyone that's been in the Black Hills very much, you know, we've spent time, and you think that when you're on these points that no one can see you, you're all by yourself out here, and then to think about that, obviously they seen you, they knew you guys were there in the best camo the country has, and they were able to still pin you guys out, send a missile or rocket over there to destroy you. I mean, it's just, again, doing stuff like this is, I think, getting more people aware of what you all went through.
Yeah, they beat it in our position. You know, we shot earlier, so they knew exactly. They found out where we were at. But yeah, after that, you know, I got home. You know, so we went from Afghanistan and I went back to Hawaii, and like I tried to explain to people like that was just like too much of a because you go from like high stress, you know, and you try to move on, right? Because I remember after we got hit, we were sitting on these cots and stuff, just hanging out. And like first sergeant came in from different units, like, hey man, you guys get some lottery tickets, you know, you guys should be body bags right now. It's like that would have hit because they did a battle damage assessment afterward. They were like, if that would have hit, we're gonna hire you guys. We want to know who you are. So I mean, that stuff plays in your head a little bit, but you know, you I don't know, you go through so much over there where you start thinking things is normal. I guess there was 2 times that I really know that things was not normal. Was when they were sending us down, John and I, they were like, we got on these helicopters and they're sending us down to Jalalabad to go see a psych. The Air Force psychs. I remember when we got there, we were walking, and I remember the chow hall's up here, like this big corridor over here, and all of a sudden you hear this loudspeaker saying incoming, and you just see all these people scatter their cockroaches everywhere, and they're hiding everywhere. And John and I, we started like laughing. It was like so messed up. And, like I smiled at him. I was like, "Hey man, I think this is I think we're fucked up." And because we were just laughing, and like there was like bigger dudes than I, like hiding behind stuff, and you're just like, okay, like why are they doing that? Yeah. And then I think the other time that was messed up for me was I was unloading a helicopter with a Bobcat, right? And I was just unloading it, and we're getting rocketed, and like I just kept going on with my job, just unloading stuff in the middle of nowhere. Next thing you know, this guy radios over and says, "Get them out of there! What are you doing right now?" So yeah, you just became so normalized to it that like when I came back home to Hawaii, like I isolated myself and I just kind of hid behind like medical appointments and just tried to figure out what's going on with me. And the Army did their best, I believe, for me to try to help me out through it. And you know, the VA has been helping me out through it as well. And you know, after going through some time in isolation and trying to figure out who I am, you know, I started getting better over here and there, and go to college. You know, then I became a cop. You know, because after 2016, I wanted to read this again. I was actually talking to my buddy Donnie Johnson, and you know, he was a recruiter out of California, but we were best friends from my first deployment. And I was like, message them behind the scenes like, hey man, how can you get my waiver to get in? And I don't know, it was just, it's weird because you miss it so much, and like everyone says they would never give it up and they would do it all over again. Yeah, and that's very real, and you try to go back into it. And I thought the cop life would fulfill that. No. I mean, there's some high stress here and there and stuff, but don't get me wrong, that doesn't discredit in different areas, right? Because there's different areas where putting on your badge is like just the same as going walking down Iraq, Afghanistan, anywhere. It's just the same. So they're putting their lives on the line as well. What I
in today's world, it's actually, I think, just about as bad. They're fighting a war right here in our country.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay me enough to be a police officer in today's.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing what I did, and I love the Belfast policeman I was with. But I realized like I needed change for myself and my mental health, and that's why I was very fortunate and blessed to get accepted into a Vogue Rehab program. And they've been great. I'm doing my master's in social work through Walden University. That's an eye opener as well. And actually, my second year, next year, I'm going to be internshipping with the VA to get back as well.
So talk just a little bit, just for people, when I say a little bit, just share a little bit about what Sacred Mountain helped you develop to succeed, because you were copping, you were still at high pace. Do you think Sacred Mountain kind of showed you that there's some other things out there that may be better for you?
Yeah, I think when I went through it, I was going through a lot of stress, and it was really hard for me to concentrate, and everyone was accommodating and adapting to me, where usually I'm the one that has to adapt, right? I have to adapt. I have to soldier on and adapt. But what Sacred Mountain did for me was they adapted, and so that gave me a little bit of peace, right? Like it made me feel better about myself. And I've had one heck of a year, right? And I've talked to Colin, I've talked to you, I've talked to Sonia. Like we formed this family where, like I told you before, like I have family. My sister, my brother-in-law, and my mom's here, and all of them. I love them to death. They always, they're my family. They're a little biased, right? But the coolest thing was that during this whole process, what Sacred Mountain has done for me is literally gave me another family. Like I had a family in the military, but now I have another family like I can call on, depend on. Because I was stressed. This whole past year was like just so much for me every day that like I would call sometimes for hours and just needing someone. And that's more so than I've ever had, right? Because you guys have been my constant.
But you call.
Yeah.
And you text, even if it's 11 o'clock at night.
That's right. And that's what I want to hit on. That is, again, if you out there, if you're watching this right now, you have a family member, a friend, someone that's struggling, pick up the phone and call them. As soon as this podcast is over, call them and just say, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Because sometimes it's just that phone call.
Yeah.
Just them hearing you care enough to check and say, are you okay? And then give them Sacred Mountain's website and tell them to fill out the application.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, Sacred Mountain has been a lot for me, and I'm very fortunate that you guys asked me to continue on with the program and help out as well. And like I said, when I get my degree and move on, I'll do whatever I can to give back as well.
We're excited to have you come back. Let's move on to my sister from another.
Mister.
Sonia got speaking tonight. Came to the program
in 2021. So I actually joined the Army when I was 17. My family background is primarily Air Force, so they were not impressed that I wanted to go into the Army. I was very gung-ho and begged my parents to sign my paperwork, my waiver, so that I could join the delayed entry program in my junior year. Finally got them convinced, went to MEPS and enlisted and had to stay 1 year until I graduated high school and got shipped off to basic training the day I graduated. It's where I met one of the other individuals you'll see on the podcast is actually one of my best friends still from 2008, Ashley. She actually came to the program too. But I joined the military to save lives and serve my country. And for me, I love the medical field. I wanted to be a combat medic. I was gung-ho. I think I missed it by 2 or 3 points for being a combat medic. And that was when they first started letting females do that. And so they said, well, you can go be a 68 Delta operating room specialist. I'm like, what the hell is that? And they said, you know, you get to go, you know, cut people open. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do that job. Blood, guts, get to save lives. It's gonna be great, you know. And they showed me this video, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I was like, screw being a medic. I want to go save lives in surgery. And I went through basic and got to my AIT and went through training there and learned a ton. And was like, you know what, I want to be on a heart team one day, because if you're on a heart team, you're pretty top of your field in surgery. I was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be on a heart team. Got stationed back at Brooke Army Medical Center, which is the duty station I wanted to get to. So it was pretty exciting for me. I was like, man, it's like everything's lining up. And I got there in April 2009 and just started working in surgery and full swing ahead. And things kind of changed, because you're 18 years old, 19 years old, and you're starting to see terrible things in surgery. And at Brooke Army, it's a level 1 trauma center, so you're seeing civilian trauma and military trauma from overseas, and then everything stateside. We got border trauma, so things from Mexico. We got life flighted to us, and at some points in our hospital, we had more civilian trauma than we did military trauma. And I just learned as much as I can. I was moving up pretty quickly in the surgery world, and went from doing little ENT cases, you know, ear, nose, and throat, to vascular surgery, to open heart surgery, and started that, and started just getting more and more trauma cases in. And you know, you're seeing gunshot wounds from gang violence in San Antonio, and then, you know, I've met some pretty amazing wounded warriors over that course of time. One of them is actually the first Purple Heart recipient to climb all 7 summits of the world. He's got a pretty amazing story, and it's also where I started losing my first patient. Losing my first patient on the table was probably one of the hardest things I ever did, because I was 19, and you don't expect to lose somebody that young, or when you're that young, you don't expect to see death in that aspect when it's completely out of your control. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I just kept gaining my experience, and you know, you lose patients, and we had some active duty folks. I had a couple suicide attempts from active duty members that we witnessed and had to take care of in surgery, and just dealing with all of that. So, you know, you don't expect the trauma from that to kind of follow you, and it kind of just is like push it back, because you know, you're trained to be battle ready all the time, so you just push it down. You know, you stuff it down, and because then the next patient, you know, you've got the next patient that you need to save their lives. You know, their families are depending on you, and I think it's late 2010. They said, hey, now you've got to go work downstairs. Last thing right away, go down and get the apartments, and that's the insurance. So you have to do a tour down there, and so that's where they sent me. And that's kind of where things started to change. And always loved the Army and support them. And in January 2011, I had a chest surgery done, and an individual in my unit sexually assaulted me during my recovery process, and did not report right away until April 2011, just because of the current situation in my home. I lived with my friend and her kids, and trying to protect those kids, and not really knowing what to do, because in the Army, they don't, you know, they the SHARP program, and generally everybody jokes about it. Nobody ever takes it serious. I didn't take it serious, because I was always just like one of the guys. For me, I never expected it to happen. When I finally reported, it just became, you know, everything became like an open book, and went through an investigation, went through a court-martial, and found that that was probably one of the toughest points in my life that I've ever had to do and face. And we'll go over it, you know, in the speech. It goes into more detail, and I won't give all of that up. But you know, he was found guilty later on for assault constituted by battery. They ended up dropping the rape charge. And that was a whole complicated deal in the Army, you know, and because they have two different jurisdictions. It happens on coast, and it's just kind of a complicated ordeal. One time I tried to kind of push through it and move on with my life, and the Army felt at the time that it was just I was not going to be fit for duty to go deploy, and I knew I wasn't right in my head, and so I was like, okay, you know, I stopped fighting at that point. I kind of just gave up, and the Army said, we're just going to give you a medical retirement and good luck, see you later, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just figure things out. And I went and got a great job working for Strike Orthopedics, so I can continue my life in surgery, and I'm still working with Wounded Warriors at Brook Army and all the docs I worked with before. So I was like, yeah, this is great, you know, I still can get back into it. And the Army called me in about August of 2012 and said, hey, he's getting discharged officially now. It's time for you to move. We can't protect you anymore. So I packed up my stuff and moved back to South Dakota, thinking like, oh, I'm going to be safe up here. I'll be fine, you know. And PTSD started rolling in, started drinking and just not doing well, and just kept trying to work and stuff it back down, and worked in the ER, got exposed to more trauma, sexual assaults in the ER, you know, car accident again. So it's kind of more of that compounding trauma. And then I found you guys. And I was so rude to you guys at first, and I still feel bad. I don't know if Dee Dee's in here because I know Dee Dee was there. And when I saw you guys at the stock show, but you guys didn't give up, you know, handing me that brochure and said, just take it, you know. And I just got so tired of fighting with the VA, trying to just get benefits and just mental health benefits. You know, it's when you don't serve in combat, it's, you know, it's not, and it's nothing against any other veteran or, you know, but I've been told by other veterans and VA providers even that, you know, my trauma isn't real trauma because I wasn't in combat. And that's what I've always tried to strive to tell people is trauma, period. It doesn't matter where it comes from. And I've learned a lot over the years, and I finally have just gotten back into the VA system a few years ago. So I hit rock bottom in 2021, 2020 and 2021, where I had planned to take my own life a few times, and the one time I did, my gun is not anywhere near to be found. And a few weeks later, I came through Sacred Mountain and saved my life. And now you're all stuck with me, you know. And it's been a pretty amazing experience.
We enjoy being stuck with you.
Thanks, Jared. And it's been pretty amazing. It's, you know, like Lance was saying, it is a family. Like I have my family, I have the family I had from the military, but this is a very unique family in the sense that we have all come from different backgrounds. And like Lance is, you know, I call him my brother. Jared's my brother, and everybody thinks it's weird when I go to pick up stuff. And Jared's like, my sister's coming, and I'm half Korean, and he's clearly not, you know. And so it throws people off. But it's been a pretty great experience, and coming back as a mentor and just getting to guide and see. I was one of Lance's mentors actually, so I'm always giving him crap. But it's been pretty life-changing to see people come through this program and their walls start breaking down. And I would have never been on a podcast ever in my life. I didn't want people knowing my story. It's not a story I want to share with people usually. You know, not many people want to admit that they were sexually assaulted, and that's kind of a hard story to tell. But this program saved my life, and I'm very grateful to have it, and all the people I've met because of it, and it will continue to mentor and be a part of.
Well, we can't wait to hear the rest of your story tonight. And thank you so much.
Try not to cry. Thanks, Jared.
All right, we've got another special guest, another Medal of Honor, Mr. Gary Wetzel. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Great to have you here in South Dakota. You helped bring some of this warm weather, I think, too.
Yeah, when I lived in Milwaukee, I go, I'm not driving in this, so now we got sunshine.
Yeah, it is one of the nicest ones yet. So,
from what I gathered, correct? I think Lance said earlier you couldn't see out the window 10 feet. You know, blessing, but I'm glad to be here. I'm limited on my travels, but for the purpose of being here, for the program that you have, and finding out all the goodness that you've been helping people, and then basically having them help themselves, and realizing though that there's a life left to live, and let's give it a shot. So I'm happy to be just a little speck of sand involved in your program.
It's an honor to have you. To share that story, and I appreciate
A long time ago, I was what we refer to as lean. Now I'm just old and sassy. November 1968, finishing up my second tour to Vietnam. I was a gunner crew chief on a helicopter, and 10 days before I was coming home, we were flying in a set of a bunch of ruts on we called eagle planes. So we fly like an eagle, and if you kind of see something, you bring in the troops on the ground, you drop them off, go and land someplace, and wait till they secure the area to find out. So we did that all day, and then towards around 4 o'clock, getting late in the day, so we landed at a place called French Fort. Everybody's kind of I remember sharing a turkey loaf with my pilot, who was not only my pilot, but a very, very good friend. And kind of talking about coming home, and he's married at the time with his wife, and I'm talking about my girl. And next thing you know, a bunch of, there was 4 Australian helicopters that kind of landed, and they're all shot to shit. And they got shot about a mile from where we're at. Our commander quickly put this operation together to check out the area. So we all finished our sea rations, load up, and take off, and we were break the ball coming into the LZ, and it's going to be what they call a high elevation, which means you come in with 2 sets of guns. First set kind of blows it up, second set is about 100 yards in front of you. So when you're right behind us, when you're coming in, you try to keep Charlie's head down as much as you can, so you try to eliminate the casualties. But we're coming in, and of course, it's like some people, it's July 4th, but it's out around. We get about 3,000 level, and then here's a big bang. Like saying, oh, left front of the ship was coming in on a land. We had 7 runs on board. Right before we came to escaping home, the crossfire was so horrendous. 2 guys didn't even leave together. In fact, one guy got splattered over the head. But my job is to get up front there and see how Timmy's doing. So I'm there to rip the door off. Where the RPG hit in front of chopper, piece of garbage. So my crew chief was over the radio that was calling on inside, going to food his ass up to get him over to get him on the other side of the ship. Once we got him halfway, that's when my crew chief said, stop. I'm like, brag about it. Felt me pretty good. I yelled real loud, and I look over, my arm was just hanging by some skin. And but then I finished giving Timmy a boot in the ass to get on the other side, and then I'm gonna fall back into the mud, into the rice paddy. Kind of use my one leg and skid around the other side. And of course, this is about dusk. We're down in the delta. The tide's coming in, so the water, we're filling up, and Timmy had a hard time keeping his head out of the water. So Bart and I were gonna drag him next to the rice dyke to get him on an angle so his head's out of the water. And in the meantime, he kept, telling us that tell Jean that he loves her, which is his wife. Of course, fuck you. You tell your own lady you love her, we'll get out of shit, And then the next thing I know is I got his head, my arm right here, and he looked at me and tell Jane, that's when he died. And then you have all this anger, hate, and rage, and my personal weapon was a Thompson. I had that somehow strapped over my shoulder, but I took my hand in that and I tucked it inside my pants. I'm looking at where my helicopter is, that's where my 60 is. So I got to get to the helicopter. So I tell people, I do all you must have few caps here, but you have so the helicopter. I do remember. Next thing I know, I'm sitting inside my gun well. I got my 60 up, and the bad boys were ready to group up. They're gonna start charging. So I just leveled the 60 and pulled the trigger. They're dropping my flags. I did that twice, and then of course it's darkish already. And guys are yelling and screaming, and I would kind of sneak up on them, grab him by the shoulder. We had one leg that was shot in the back, so he couldn't move. So we bring the wounded to him, and I did that throughout the evening, and we fought for I think 10 or 12 hours before we got any help, and saved a lot of lives. I didn't count them, and but I knew once I got to the hospital and they started cutting stuff away, and I'm looking at my arm and I see all these leeches on my arm. I figured, they got E2, So, but I knew they couldn't save the arm at that time. I knew it. So, but I. Critical is the travel. While in the hospital, I guess some of the crazy shit that I did was next thing you know, they shipped me over to Tokyo for more surgery, and laying in his bed, a piece of shit. And 3 guys came up with me into the bed. They all over the hand. They stopped the wall and showed me pictures of their wife with their kids. And, hey, pal, because you just come back to it. And that's what the gun means. I always shoot every time I had it on, last night. When I had the privilege to wear that new ribbon, I don't wear it for everybody. So it's part of all this, I'm just security. But they just don't think it out. Yeah. Come back home, shut the war off, and then it comes back years later. Every night I go to bed. Every night I take the war off, set it down. Every morning I get up, I put the war back on. So I have that micro segment. The war is a son of a bitch, But and like with the organization helping people feel good, how I help me to feel good is. Once in a while, I'll have my sister come visit me from Arizona. So she gets up before I do in the morning. She's having coffee or smoking cigarettes. I get up and head down the hallway. You go in that little room there, and there's a mirror. And I say, "Morning, pal. Hey, how you doing? You got to like you." And then I come up. She said, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "Me, you." I said, "Yeah, like me. You got to like you." And like the young lady mentioned before, suicide. Yeah, that's been there too a bunch of times. But that's as far as you got. There's other things more important you can do and help by helping fellow man. And then they both mentioned the organization come through with a group and you got that tight knit family, which is nobody can take that away. And he's got his people he served with. She does. I do. You just don't take that away. It's just. I remember after my first tour when I came home. Of course, I know I'm going back. I'm happy to be home, but I miss my brothers back in Nam. Okay, that's where I'm home with them. Life was a bitch. I remember when I came back the second time, I'm bringing back cans of fruit cocktail peaches and that because we didn't get fruit over there. It was hard to come by. So, and then Lance also mentions the one day you're in combat, you're making a gun run. 2 days later, you're sitting in a restaurant having a Coke and a cheeseburger and french fries. And, you know, how do you shut that off? And then during, you know, my era, the Vietnam era, every night at 5 o'clock on NBC, there's the regular report, there's the war. You know, it's like, it was there. And we didn't have programs like we have now helping him or her out. You know, we got out of the service. Hey, fend for yourself. Just here, have a funny pill. You know, and then later on, you start having vet groups and stuff like that in organizations because of the high suicide rate. And then people, it's out there. It is out there. But you know, programs like you and you're looking at, if we can cut it down in half, that's what it's all about. You know? And I tell people it's hard for them to understand. Once in a while, when I give a speech, I'll have a 2.5 gallon empty jar in front of me. But about 10 minutes before that, throughout the crowd, I'll give them each a ping pong ball. Okay. Then you start talking about unity and brotherhood and get together and caring. And then I'll wave my hand in the meantime and I'll start putting in one at a time. Then it's, you know, a third full. Then it's half full. I said, you can all see what we can do when we get together. Before it was empty, now it's full. So let's try and get together and do something not only for ourselves, but help a friend or a neighbor out or make a new friend. That's what it's all about. So we would look at, I tell young people, if we look at that word freedom, it's not free. But when I'm also talking in the classroom, I'll point to the American flag. I'll say, that flag here, and shake your head off. No, you don't know what it is. And they look at you, what? It says, don't look at that flag, all right? Look into that flag. Look into that flag. And think about the sacrifices and ultimate sacrifices him and her have given you and I to be here. And we can turn a light switch on and off. Let's do something, you know? Let's do something in life. That's what it's all about. So I'm extremely happy to be one of the little pebbles of sand here. But it's all for a good cause. You know, people who are watching this program, you know, tell a friend, and then they'll tell a friend, and it grows. And, you know, and we're going to have this again next year, this banquet. Let's have a sellout. Not 440, let's sell it out. Okay? And that's what it's all about. It's all for a good cause. So, America, God bless you. And remember, we're all part of the same team. We're all part of the same team, that American flag.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah. Wow. I'm speechless, to be honest with you. That doesn't happen very often, as you guys know.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's time we need to go to commercial break. I just want to say thank you for your service.
So, maybe you met a new friend, met a new lady friend, and hopefully sometime in the future, and I still ride a Harley.
Oh my
And what I did is I helped redesign my arms so I could pull my foot out. And in fact, the last time I was headed here was five and a half years ago. I'm coming here to Sturgis to get inducted in the Motorcycle Hall of Fame. And I did get inducted, but I'm laying in the hospital. But I like it in the summer months when you're at a stop and go, like short sleeve shirt on. People looking, how you ride that bike? And then I look at my man, God. But I look at it, if I can do it for me being handicapped, if I can instill something on other handicapped people that it's not the end of the world. You just do things different. Life goes on. Life goes on.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it helps out in the kitchen. I mean, I can flip bacon. I don't burn my fingers.
I mean, that's an extremely good point when you say, you know, it's not the end of the world. Life goes on. And I think what you segmented that is something like Jared, where that program
It's still like, and keep it going. Yeah.
Thank you all. We're going to commercial.
Turn your mic on, brother.
So now that my mic's unmuted, let me try this again. So I hope you guys are enjoying listening to all the heroes' stories. Hey, at the end of this podcast, we're going to do a giveaway on behalf of Sacred Mountain Retreat through Sky Door Entertainment. What I need you to do is go in the comment section, comment #GotYour6, #GotYour6. That way you will be entered for the drawing at the end of this podcast. Right now, we're going to take a quick intermission, and then we're going to have even more heroes. #GotYour6. We'll have more heroes to come, so please stay tuned.
The locals' choice for lodging, dining, and gaming is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, located in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. The Lodge at Deadwood offers first-class accommodations where you can relax and rejuvenate in luxurious guest rooms and spa-quality suites. We feature free internet, the area's largest indoor water playland, a gift shop, and a 24-hour fitness center. Whatever you're craving, our 2 award-winning restaurants are sure to satisfy your appetite. The Deadwood Grill features chef-inspired cuisine and a large wine selection in a casual fine dining setting. Or choose the lively atmosphere of Ogie's Sports Bar. With televisions on every wall, it's a great place to meet your friends and watch your favorite games. Feel the excitement and explore our spacious casino, where you will find a large selection of the newest and most popular slots, a large table games area, and the Bet Lodge Sportsbook. It's all under one roof at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. The locals' choice for lodging, dining, and gaming is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, located in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. The Lodge at Deadwood offers first-class accommodations where you can relax and rejuvenate in luxurious guest rooms and spa-quality suites. We feature free internet, the area's largest indoor water playland, a gift shop, and a 24-hour fitness center. Whatever you're craving, our 2 award-winning restaurants are sure to satisfy your appetite. The Deadwood Grill features chef-inspired cuisine and a large wine selection in a casual fine dining setting. Or choose the lively atmosphere of Ogie's Sports Bar. With televisions on every wall, it's a great place to meet your friends and watch your favorite games. Feel the excitement and explore our spacious casino, where you will find a large selection of the newest and most popular slots, a large table games area, and the Bet Lodge Sportsbook. It's all under one roof at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the special live edition of Sacred Mountain Retreat for the 5th annual gala to raise money to help the veterans that you have already heard their story and more stories to come. It's a very, very good organization. Also, in the comments, on behalf of Skydor Network, we will be doing a giveaway at the end of this. Make sure you go in the comments and do #GotYour6. #GotYour6, and you will be loaded into our super duper supercomputer that does stuff and things, and it picks a winner. So that's how that works. Very technical, I understand. So we are coming in to our 3rd set of interviews, and I think we are ready to go with Jared. So I will bring Jared back up and we will kick it off again. Please stay tuned. Share this out. Share this this video link. Hit that like, hit that heart. Get this out there. Let's get this message going. All right.
Right on. Thanks, Brandon. Back with another group of heroes. I don't know what you're offering in the giveaway, but whatever you're going to do, I'm going to add to it. So, again, we'll talk about this at our next commercial, but whatever you're doing, I'm going to add some cool stuff to it. So, we are back at the Lodge in Deadwood, South Dakota, where we're getting ready for our 5th annual Winter Gala. This thing just is continuing to blow up. I got people calling, people texting. You got more tickets? We got people that want to come. We were 440, I think, last night. We're sold out. We're getting people that are wanting to come. So I'm going to give my seat up, and I know about 8 other people that are willing to give their seat up. If you're watching this and you want to come to the doors. We'll find a way to get you in, hear these people's stories, spend money, sponsor, whatever you want to do. Helping heroes, that's what we're about. So we're going to move right on. Again, I'm going to start on the far left. I'm going to do introductions, and then we'll circle back around. Greg Maynard from Okeechobee, Florida. How are you?
Good, Jared. How you doing?
Good. Glad you're here with us. And Fuzzy's tied up on the... Hold on. We got a technical difficulty. All right, we're getting it all figured back out. Bob's going to go by Mom. Okeechobee, Florida. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Weather's a little better than the last time you were here.
Oh, the last several times I was here.
And then next to you, we have Ashley. Ashley is an alumni of SMRC along with Greg. And next to her, we have Greg McNally.
Happy to be here. I used to live here.
Used to. He had to run away from all of us.
Yeah.
Now he's a Wyominger. So let's get started on our left. Greg, share just a brief about your service history and what led you to Sacred Mountain.
Well, I joined the Army 1993 when I was 17 years old, trying to follow a family tradition. And went in, joined the service, finished off the training, and nothing really eventful. But had a pretty bad thing happen to me. I had two guys in my unit pretty much beat me down, left me unconscious, and you know, I was sexually assaulted. Nothing ever happened with that. There was no prosecution or anything. It was kind of swept under the rug. But after that, I just could not. I could not keep myself together, and you know, I was discharged for not being able to soldier. So I struggled 20 years without any help. You know, isolated myself. Pretty much, I started driving semi. I lived in a truck on the road constantly, just by myself. Because after I come home, I'd try to work a regular job. I just couldn't, you know, the trust issues. I just couldn't be around people. It really messed my life up socially and everything. And I still, to this day, am a little kind of secluded with my personal life around other people. So, right across the sacred mountain on the internet, got talking to Jared, and I told Jared kept wanting me to come up, and I'm like, Jared, I'm okay. There's people that need it worse than I do. So he's like, no, I want you to come. So, you know, I shared a little bit of my story, so something. He's like, yeah, I want you to come. So I made it to Gala 2 years ago. And in a bad way. Walked in the doors of the Gala, didn't know anybody. And my plan was, you know, I was in a bad spot. My plan was, let me see if I feel anything. If I come here, see what this is about. If I don't feel anything, then, you know, South Dakota is a pretty big state. I can go disappear somewhere. You know, just be done with it. But met a few people that, you know, just overall friendly, talked to me. Had one guy, he talked me into signing up for the Bay Retreat, May 2001, come through the program, and you know, at first I was very standoffish, kind of, you know, in my own, you know, protective mode. And after day 7 of the retreat, I mean, it was like a big weight was lifted off of me. So I asked Jared, and about, so Jared, I know there's people that's been through what guys that I've been through, that's been through what I went through. You know, what about them? You know, and I kind of explained to Jared, I go, you know, military sexual trauma just happens to it. You know, a man, one, it's very, very, it strips everything from dignity. You never expect it to happen to a man. But, you know, I mean, it's just the way society is, the way everybody's brains programmed, you know, oh, you fight back. But, you know, I did fight back. But I was beat down unconscious. Didn't do nothing no more. So, but it does happen to men, and, you know, I don't share this story very much. Very few, though. There's people here in this room here, well, they don't know. But, you know, my hope share it now. Maybe there's somebody out there on the podcast listening that they do the same thing.
What's really neat about our program too, and I think every one of you will be able to attest this, is first of all, nobody judges anyone for any of their trauma. But just like you said, we don't realize the different amount of traumas that are happening. Whether it doesn't all have to be a combat trauma, you know, as we heard a short little story about something. But I remember going back a little bit on Greg, you know, you scouted us for a long time, watched us for a long time. And when you said there's other people out there that need your program more, I remember the comment that I made to you. How many times have you considered suicide? And you said, too many to count. And I said, you mean our program. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And it was at that moment that I think Greg really, you got it. Because you're like, he's right. You couldn't say you're full of shit because you admitted it. Yeah, man, I've thought about it numerous times. Well, if you've thought about it, then you can approach it. And man, the changes in you in 2 years. And we were just talking about it. It was 2 years ago. You came to Gala just to, again, scope us out, see what we're about. Come to the program, and now you're a mentor, and great leader, and you bring a lot to so many people. Sharing your story, because I mean, Sonia, I don't know if she's still in here. You know, for Sonia to share her story as a female is hard, but for a man to share that story, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be putting women down right now, but it's like 20,000 times harder for a man to share that story than it is for a woman, and it's definitely hard for a woman too. So I'm glad you're here and welcome back again.
Yeah, and it's my hope that, like I said earlier, that there's somebody that's been out there to do that. Same situation I did. I mean, I did when I first, went through the program. I shared, after several days, I shared mine, and in that whole room, there was three people. Two of them were males that had went through the same thing, and it just started opening up, and then mentoring. I bring to several men that did the same thing, just to a shit in the middle,
Thanks for sharing, Greg. Ashley,
That's me.
you're back.
Yep.
You came to the program less than a year ago.
Yep, last June.
Last June. How's life since you got back home?
It's been pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, a little better. Every day's a little bit better, so.
Took some tools home?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I see you do a lot with woodwork.
Yes.
So that being in your wood shop, that's got to be kind of your go-to.
Yeah, keep my mind busy, keep my hands busy, helps with the PTSD a lot, so.
Yeah. Just share if you would, just share a little bit about yours.
Well, I joined in 2008 where I met Sonia in basic training. She helped me a lot. And then did my AIT, same Fort Leonard Wood. And then after AIT, I went to Fort Campbell. And then less than a year in, they asked for volunteers to deploy to Iraq. So my best friend volunteered, and I said, "You're not going to get rid of me that easy." So I volunteered with him. So we did convoy security over there in 2009. We got back Christmas Eve, which was cool. And then finished my service in Fort Lewis, deployed with them to Kuwait, and then got out. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you found out about Second Round through Sonia.
Yeah.
And you came along with another friend who we're going to bring on, and Ricky's still active, right?
He's in the reserves.
Reserves.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's not just for the retired, and it's for all of them. Thank you for sharing, and thanks for coming back and being a part of the weekend.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Moving on, Craig, Mally, do you want to talk about your police days or your army days? Or you want to talk about both?
I can do both. My army days were pretty boring.
Just jumping on planes and shit.
Well, yeah. I didn't get the opportunity to deploy, unfortunately. When our deployment came up, there were some people in my unit that thought they needed my stuff more than I did. So my deployment was essentially stolen from me, being that my gear. So I was forced to kind of sit back in the rear and had to, at that point, deal with, I had several injuries trying to get into special forces, go through the selection. I had broken both my ankles, messed up a knee, a head, shoulder, along with some other stuff. So I got some surgeries, and ultimately they were just basically going to drop my jump status. And I had made E5 at that time. I was a sergeant.
So it was a, you can basically be a paperwork guy, sit behind a desk for the remaining 15 years of your career if you wanted to do that, which I absolutely did not. And I got out of the Army by med board one day before the end of my actual full 5-year contract. From there, took a break and climbed some cell phone towers for about 1.5 years, traveled around the United States with my wife, and got into, we visited Rapid City on the Black Hills. We thought it was absolutely gorgeous here. So applied for the Rapid City Police Department, got on, I believe, 2018, and went through, of course, all their training. I remember when I first applied, I was kind of worried that I had applied to a small town for a small city, I guess I should say, and I was going to be bored. You and I both know Rapid City is anything in the criminal world but boring. So, very, very busy city, high volume of calls. Worked with some great people over there. But through the stress of it, my mental and physical health really deteriorated. Call after call after call, you know, you don't know what you're getting into as an officer. I had days where, you know, you start your day off with a dead child. Or in my case, my first call I went to, first traffic stop for a day, was my first shooting, where I was just supposed to be doing surveillance on a house we're trying to get basically circle warrant on to get drugs out of. And tried to go elsewhere, eventually just, you know, have a calmer lifestyle. My circle in the city started to get very, very small, where I felt comfortable going. And on my days off, it just started to be more of a thing where I didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to do anything. I just felt like crap all the time, had stomach issues, sleep issues, you name it, it started to stack up and stack up. And you start to, I would say, kind of isolate, feel like you're the weird one. Like, you know, why is it that, because nobody ever talks about it, you know, we could be riding in the same patrol car and, yeah, let's stop that car. Yeah, let's go stop it. Let's see what those guys are doing over there. And he might not have slept all night. I didn't either. He may be on anti-anxiety medication, so am I. We don't talk about it. So because of that, what do you want to call it? You don't want to seem weak. You don't want them pulling you from the streets, whatever have you. Everybody just keeps it hush hush and then tries to deal with it on their own. And that's obviously not conducive of good mental health. And I believe it was your wife bought tickets to a gala, or donated tickets to a gala, I guess, to the police department, which I was all about going to the gala because it was out of my city. You know, I can let my guard down. I can go into Deadwood. It's a beautiful place. My wife and I both love coming up here. So figured it'd be a good time. We can dress up, have a night out. You know, it's a good cause. See what they're all about. And you know, can't believe what it's grown into from here. You know, Foz, who was messing up all of our stuff, has been the father to what, 8 of the puppy program people. You know, and it helped tremendously going through that, and then to be here and, you know, go to some of the retreats. You know, we had that Chicago PD officer whose 2 partners were shot, and to be able to be that person for them to talk to, a kind of mentor and do that thing was nice. And a good thing to be able to give back to that community so he can continue to go do that job. Like you said earlier, you couldn't pay you enough to do that job. You couldn't pay me enough to do your job. So we need people that want to do the job and continue to go out there and do that and take care of their mental and physical health so that they can keep coming back and keep doing the job and mentor those new rookies that are coming in, so that they can continue. You know, we're always going to need officers. You know, so I guess it's good, especially having programs like this where guys can vent. They can always come back. You know, I only attended one program with you guys, as you know, but they constantly come back. Hey, a little stressed out. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna come to the retreat center, help out a new group of people. And in helping them, I'm helping myself. So it's been great. It's been an awesome journey.
One of the great thing, I mean, we've built an amazing relationship. You know, we all, I think every one of us, everybody that's came through the program has just built, like, I think Lance probably was the first one to say it, or Sonia, but, you know, it's a new family, new people. I mean, your wife coming up and doing the yoga, you know, your wife and my wife now are extremely close.
Absolutely.
You and I are close. You know, so the bonds and the relationships that are built, it's not just a one and done, see you later. You know, I mean, I don't know how many attendees. Have you did any thinking on how many attendees are going to be at this gala? And there's got to be.
I can't keep track of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be. Sonia, we're gonna.
There's a few from each group, I think.
Can't even keep track.
Yeah,
there's yeah, and so I mean, coming back and seeing that camaraderie and that family, and you know, I think that's what, again, I love about this program is seeing when people come through them doors on day one, Thursday, they're looking around, they're nervous, you know, Brandon, he's over there shaking his head, yes.
Yeah.
You know, day 2, day 3, things are starting to get more comfortable. You're starting to have conversation.
Absolutely.
And I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it probably until I'm done with this. You come in as strangers, you become friends. Before you leave in 7 days, you've built a new family.
Absolutely.
You have a new brother, you have a new sister. It might not be the whole class, it might not be every single one, but there's people in there that you cling to, that you can count on, that you can call on when you're struggling, that are going to be there to pick up that phone, talk you through it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's really great. That's been very helpful for me as you know, I've mentored quite a few times, is to you know, help somebody in the program and then watch them progress after the program, and then you get to see them. Like tonight here at Gala, I'm going to see quite a bit of you people out help mentor and everything, and just see them. Y'all have already seen them when they were probably down at their lowest, but to see them up and they're doing well, like with Lance. You know, he's back in school.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a great feeling to know that people come from different walks of life.
The thing about Lance is, even though he skips leg day,
yeah,
he still gets to show off all of his.
He does. We had to do that.
Well, you know what? Thank you guys for being. I'm really looking forward to your story tonight and sharing with a room full of patriots. So back to we're gonna talk about Got Your Six. Jump online. It's super easy. Got Your Six campaign is running extremely well right now. The more people we can get signed up, the better it is. It's $6 a month. On the 6th of every month, it's $72. Your contribution goes right back into the program to help save the men and women that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. We'll be back with you soon. Thanks, guys.
What's up, everybody? Brandon back with you. I can't stress enough how great this organization is. Please, we have the donation link that will come up shortly. There it is. Please go donate. Another way you can donate and get some pretty cool swag. They've got a store with shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, all of the above. Freaking flip flops. They got flip flops. They're awesome. But buy you some stuff and give us some advertisement. But so yeah. Also, don't forget to do hashtag got your six to be entered in a drawing. And we just found out that Jared's going to throw in some SMRC Sacred Mountain Retreat Center swag in as well. So don't forget hashtag got your six. There it is. Hashtag got your six. And we're going to go for an intermission, and we got one more round. Stay tuned.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
The locals' choice for lodging, dining, and gaming is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, located in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. The Lodge at Deadwood offers first-class accommodations where you can relax and rejuvenate in luxurious guest rooms and spa-quality suites. We feature free internet, the area's largest indoor water playland, a gift shop, and a 24-hour fitness center. Whatever you're craving, our 2 award-winning restaurants are sure to satisfy your appetite. The Deadwood Grill features chef-inspired cuisine and a large wine selection in a casual fine dining setting. Or choose the lively atmosphere of Ogie's Sports Bar. With televisions on every wall, it's a great place to meet your friends and watch your favorite games. Feel the excitement and explore our spacious casino, where you will find a large selection of the newest and most popular slots, a large table games area, and the Bet Lodge Sportsbook. It's all under one roof at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
All right, everybody. Brandon Cooper coming back to you live from the Lodge at Deadwood. We've been talking to some amazing heroes that have served the country and the community. We are coming down to the last little bit. Please, please, please don't forget hashtag #GotYour6 to be entered for the drawing at the end of this live. Jared also stated that he's going to throw in some cool swag. You know, if you're lucky, he might throw in some, those really cool flip-flops because those things are amazing. Just saying. Also, please, we have the link up for the Sacred Mount Retreat where you can donate. Please go donate. Also, they have a Got Your Six program. It's $6 on the 6th of every month. And it goes to actually save lives because you know what? If it wasn't for Sacred Mountain, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys right now. They truly do save lives. So it is a very, very worthy cause. Also, a reminder to everybody that's watching, butter does not belong in the fridge. So don't forget, butter does not belong in the fridge. So you know what? And speaking of butter that is easy to spread, so you can spread your love around, here's Jared.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm never going to live the butter one down, am I?
No, it's amazing.
We're going to keep the butter one going. It does not go in the fridge because if it's in the fridge, it's too hard to spread on toast, too hard to spread on pancakes. It just makes life miserable. Thank you again, Brandon, for all your work and getting everything put together. So, like I said, or like Brandon said, I'm going to throw something in there, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw some swag in there, but we're going to do two giveaways, I think. We're going to pick somebody random. Brandon's going to be in charge of that one. Then we're going to do one more. Anyone that signs up for the Got Your Six campaign that does more than $6, anything over $25 a month, if they can prove to us that they're going to do it, I'm going to give them a 3-night stay in Las Vegas. So, anyone out there that's watching that wants to help the mission of Sacred Mountain, if you can do more than $6, hashtag Brandon, he's going to take care of all that. But if it's over $25 a month, I'm going to give you a trip to Las Vegas. 3 nights in Las Vegas. So, we are going to go right back into the show. We have Vic at the far end. How's it going, Vic?
It's going. I'm still trying to process this butter thing.
I know.
More often.
Sweet.
It was a great metaphor.
How's it going, buddy? It's going good. Good. Glad you came back for the weekend.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Good. And then Colin, how's it going?
Wonderful.
Good. So glad to have all of you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of wrap up the show. We've got about 15 minutes, so we're going to kind of put this one on speed drive. But Vic, tell us about you.
Derek Victor, I was enlisted in the Air Force in 2004 as an explosive ordnance disposal tech. Graduated year of school, and 3 months later was in Iraq, following the Afghanistan again, and it goes on. But while I was in Afghanistan, I was involved in a blast that killed my teammate. We had to kind of gone through and finish the mission and clear him out of there. But I sustained some injuries that forced me to end up getting medically retired and require a hip replacement and a few other pretty major surgeries. So I was blessed, however, they created a Air Force Women Warrior position for me to be an instructor there at the school. So I am currently still working, in that regard as an instructor now and a mentor to these young kids. But it's always been a blessing of mine to give back in any form that I could, and represent those that can't represent themselves anymore, obviously, with their fallen. And I was actually at another retreat when I trying to help them set something up, and I ran into Jared. And we bonded. We had a few great moments, and then not long after that, you reached out and said you were going to pull the trigger and do it yourself, and there was no way I was not going to help you. So
I appreciate everything. That's Tara, my wife and I were just talking the other day about you, and I said Derek's one of those guys that we don't talk every day. Just sometimes we're going to talk for a few weeks, but as soon as I message you or you message me, and we just pick right back up and we just roll with it. Yeah, when we met, it's crazy. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
8 years ago we met. It's getting other organizations established is great, and there's some great ones out there. Halo for Freedom, those guys, they do some great things. But this one is different.
very, very different. And I avoided you for a long time.
Yeah. Because I think even we knew about each other. We knew a fair amount about each other, but I don't think we really knew about each other. And I kept, come on. I want you to be a mentor. I want you to be a program. And that's, as anyone that knows as a mentor, that's my only stipulation. If you want to be a mentor, you have to come to the program. You have to learn how the program works and then come back. And it took some talk. It took a lot of talking to get you
several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love helping people. I've always been, a giver, but I obviously had some skepticism about opening up and, kind of, not that the fear of reliving it, just, those are my demons and I didn't want them on anyone else. I'm more than happy to take everyone's and put them on me, but I don't want mine on anyone else. So, yeah, I definitely was a little, now you get a little slow to make it happen, but I'm glad you did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right on. No, I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Ricky, tell us about you. What's your military career?
I'm actually still in the Army Reserves. I joined when I was 19. I was still in high school.
And you're 23 now.
Yeah, I look it.
How old are you, Ricky?
39.
No way.
Yeah. So I went to basic training on 11 Bravo, so Fort Benning. I was first duty station was Korea in Fort Lewis, and then I deployed to Iraq. I did stuff over there. I was actually in the Mosul Chow Ha bombing when that went off in 2004. And then after my deployment and stuff, I got out. My whole life was military. And then I joined the reserves, and I've been in ever since. I'm an ROTC instructor for over at Fort Knox. We're my unit stationed out of JBLM, and we drill out Washington. So this summer, I'm actually going to be in Fort Knox instructing the cadets from all over the country doing land nav. So hopefully we don't lose or they get lost too bad. Too bad. I did that 8, 9 years ago, and the hardest point is keeping them on course. You know, you tell them not to cross the hardball pavement, the first thing they do is cross the hardball pavement.
You just can't teach stupid sometimes, right?
Right. I need some college kids, common sense, I guess. But,
Right.
Right. But it's a lot of fun. Just seeing the young. Okay. And then yeah, I've been that for 21 years now. I got my retirement letter last September. Right after I came to the retreat, I got that. So that was a little bonus thing. And I plan on staying in until they kick me out.
There you go.
Yep. And then what the Army means to me is my life. I don't know where I'd be or what I'd do without it. So.
That's awesome. And I think, it blew me away when, again, just like Derek, when you were talking about your age, and I was like, when you came through the program, I don't go through all the applications in detail. I was like, man, he's like 23, 24 years old. I'm like, man, he's young. And then when we were talking that one night, I'm like, holy shit, he's almost 40. You don't look close to 40.
We could make some money on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, taking down town.
Yeah.
Guess it's 8. Within 5 years.
Yeah. So what about what was your talk about after Sacred Mountain?
Sacred Mountain. I love the experience. Like you said, it's like a new family. Like Brandon, I've tried talking to him every Sunday on his podcast, but he ignores me sometimes. But he's been great. We kept in contact. He's helped me with some of the video stuff. I've kept in contact with Rich a little, my mentor, who was great. I actually went and stayed with Rich in Vegas for 3 or 4 days. I don't know how long. Who else? Jody and Tommy, we kept in contact with them, and they're amazing. Tom messages me once in a while. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is. It's great. And Brandon, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, we just got a $30 a month donation. So
all right.
You hit it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Done deal. Just make sure that we get their name, information.
I'm on it.
Right on. Whoever you are out there, that awesome. Thank you so much. You're gonna go to Las Vegas on us. So, but see, it's things like that just, getting to sit and talk to guys like you is awesome. But then when you, I would love if they can make a comment for you. I would like to know if they're military backed or if they're civilian. I would love to know that.
Yep.
But you know what, Ricky? Like you said, it's repetitive. I think everyone that came to the program can say the family bond, the friendships that are built, it just continues to grow. And I wish I could talk to every single one of you, all of you guys on a weekly basis, and I can't. But you all know that my phone's never off. So I'm so glad you both came in and are going to be a part of tonight. So we're going to move on because we're getting down to the wire. They're going to tell us we've been on too long. Colin, my brother from another.
What's up, brother?
So I'm going to actually start out because I need to tell a little backstory about Colin before he talks. And we're going to talk about the puppy program because honestly, we haven't talked about the puppy program, and the puppy program is, it's what saved your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Colin can go a little bit deeper, but when Colin filled out the application and we were going through applications, there was just something that stuck out about his application. So when it was time to do the evaluations and the phone calls, he had a phone call and they talked and I knew that was the right person. And so when I called to talk to him, went to voicemail, I told him, congratulations, please call me back. You're going to be receiving a puppy. And folks, he received his German Shepherd Knox 1 year ago.
Yep.
the change that has happened in 1 year to today, I can't even begin to tell you, because he doesn't remember much of the gala from last year because he was in such a bad place, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was worried. I was extremely worried. We have built a relationship over the last year that is unbelievable. I mean, you called me a couple of times after you got knocks 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Man, I know that there was one night you had a gun in your mouth. I just could feel it. And I did everything in my power to just try to get you to see the next day. Mm-hmm. Things are going to get better.
Yep.
I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, so getting knocks in the puppy program was a 14-year, I don't know. It was something that I needed, and I tried to get it for 14 years. You know, I've struggled with PTSD and suicide ideations, and, you know, I never found a way that would help me cope with what I deal with. And when I filled out the application, you know, I had filled out multiple applications for puppies and never, most of the time, didn't even hear back from them. So when I filled out the application to get knocks last year, I kind of filled it out just really blankly and not with a whole lot of emotion in my application, because I was pretty much, I decided that I wasn't going to hear from you guys. And then here we are, a year later. Knox is 14 months old now. Went through the retreat in May, and at that point, Sacred Mountain is what I needed, and now I'm volunteer all the time. Been, like Jared said, you know, I don't remember the gala last year. Really, pretty much the only thing I remember was walking up front and Jared handed me an 8-week-old puppy and saying, "Good luck." Yeah, puppies are great.
You know, I think one of the things that bothers me the most and I'm not bashing anybody, but we started our puppy program in 2020. We're giving away 4 more puppies tonight. In basically 3 years, we've given up 19 puppies that have all went to veterans, first responders, service dogs that have been trained by Canine Elite, Wes Magnus and his wife in Lovell, Wyoming, jumped on board. They became a part of this program so hard and so heavy that they said, whatever you need. Well, folks, they went above and beyond even what we needed. They put a gala on, fundraising event in November for us, and raised $60,000 to help our puppy program continue to grow. You know, for those viewers that are out there that see these service dogs, you need to really understand what these service dogs do for these men and women. Suicide rate drops 79% when you put a when you put a puppy in the hands of a veteran or first responder. 79%, folks. Just think about that. If we can continue this program in-house on doing what we're doing, and we add this puppy program, we're going to be able to start bringing them suicide numbers down.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's just, I could go on and on and on and on, but I can't thank you for, I mean, you have done so much for the organization offline that 90% of people don't even understand. I mean, you're there to help me before a retreat, after a retreat. He hauls horses for me. I mean, this guy has stepped up and done so much for not only myself, my wife, but the organization. And he's always a phone call away, just like I am. I mean, he's got other friends that are sitting in here right now that he's built, that he stays in contact better than I do. And that I want to thank you, because, I mean, you're just another face. You, Sonia, I mean, every single one of you, Derek, you're all a great face for the organization. And to have people like you all that are a phone call away, I think that's what That's what people just need to understand.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason that, we have all these people that keep coming back is it's because of what Sacred Mountain did for us on a personal level and how it affected our lives. Maybe not the same, because I'm an exception. I was in a super bad spot. Like Sacred Mountain 100% saved my life. Totally changed the person that I am because now I'm comfortable with, going to Walmart and word vomiting on all of the people about what Sacred Mountain is and what it did for me. And having Knox, walking around, taking him places, and educating people on what he does for me, and the things that a lot of people have pets, have dogs, but when you build a bond with a service dog and they're trained to know what you need, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and we're gonna go deeper into our puppy program, service dogs, all that in more podcasts as we go. But that's I just think respect people that have service dogs. We've had a few bad run-ins with some people, and just understand that they're a tool. That service dog is now a tool for that person. It's really no different than someone in a wheelchair. That is their tool. Respect them. So I knew this was what was going to happen, and that's the reason why I asked for it. So is it Kenna? Kenna and Dave. They're the folks that stepped up and did the $30 a month. But this is what I think probably gets me the most. Look, I'm gonna turn this around. You can't see it, but you guys can see it. Look at that. What it says.
Retired firefighter, EMS, and military family.
Folks, it's military and first responders that are giving back to help other brothers and sisters. If you're a civilian out there, remember, freedom's not free. Every single person that we've had on this podcast today has paid the ultimate sacrifice. Some of them have lost brothers and sisters. Some of them have lost dear friends that they spent hours and days and months with. These people risked their lives so we can go to McDonald's, so we can go to a concert, so we can fly across the country to the beaches, to the ocean, to enjoy what we want to enjoy. And we, folks, in this country right now are taking it for granted. Do what you have to do. Help a friend, help a neighbor, reach out to someone that you may think is struggling. I want to thank you guys so much. It's been a great morning. A lot of great people. I want to thank Brandon and his team for helping product this today. Stay tuned, guys. There's going to be a lot. This is we're just getting started. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Brandon back with you. Hey, I think it's time that we pick a winner for the. You know what? I'll give you one more minute to put in hashtag got your six. So you've got 1 minute to put in hashtag got your six, and then we're going to do this drawing. Dave, I want to personally thank you, and I know Jared does too, that for your donation of the $30 a month. I love you, brother.
I love you too. Yep. We got.
Are you off, Mike?
Huh?
Are you off?
Not yet. I'll get with you in a second. We're about to do this drawing, and then I'm off.
Guys, get in there. Running down on the last few seconds here. Hashtag got your six in the comment section, all lowercase for entering into the computer to have a chance to win donation in your name via Skydoor Entertainment. And Jared is putting together a package as well for
Actually, the package we just
donation.
found out. We just found out what the package is. You're going to get a Sacred Mountain Retreat Center sweatshirt and a beanie and Like I've got a hoodie and a beanie, and I love them. So yeah, so a donation made in your name to Sacred Mountain Retreat Center, courtesy of Skydor Entertainment. We will make that donation in your name, and the winner will also get a sweatshirt and a beanie. What do we got? Like 15 seconds?
Yep.
15
And
seconds.
everybody, please keep this live open. There will be music playing in the background. Brandon will kick in throughout the day. You might get a chance to meet some extraordinary people that have some awesome stories. We're not going to cut this feed until Brandon is done for the day. So keep checking in. That is a huge thing. Keep checking in. And then tomorrow we have a special exclusive Shaman Sundays from Sacred Mountain.
That is correct. Now we may be going. Shaman Sundays tomorrow may go actually early. I am in Mountain Time, and we may have to swap up some times. But yes, we will have a really cool live. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Hey, let's spin that wheel, brother. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win some swag? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
Sonia.
Hey, Sonia, you won. You want us to spin? Yeah, you want us to spin again?
Donate it back.
Yeah. Spin her again.
Okay. Let's try that again. See if we can spin her again.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win some swag? Who's gonna win some swag? Lance.
Donate it back.
Spin it again. And wait, did we freeze up? Anthony. Anthony's our winner. Anthony, if you're still on here, please get your information to Dave. I'll let you handle that. I'm gonna get off here. We got some stuff to set up. I'll let you handle that. Thank you.
Yep. Send us a message at Skydor Entertainment on Facebook. You can email at skydoornetwork@gmail.com and give us your information. I'll make sure I get it over to Brandon, and we will get all the necessary preparations over to Jared and get that to you. Congratulations. Guys, don't forget donation. It is to a nonprofit, so it is a tax write-off. Stay tuned for the rest of the show today. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off, and Anthony, I'll be looking for that information.